All right, let's talk about beliefs. I thought I would talk about this because it is so important. It is important for us as business owners to be very conscious of the unconscious programming that is running the show and surface it, because when we're dealing with money issues, client issues, systems issues, anything that we're dealing with on the outside is a reflection of the beliefs that we hold in our subconscious that we are not aware of. This is a 3-part series, so in this video I'll give you a little bit of mildly discombobulated background to give you a sense of where beliefs are coming from. In the second video I'll talk to you about how to uncreate some of the negative programming, and before you uncreate it, how to actually surface this, how to notice when there's a belief running the show. And in part 3, I'm going to teach you how to install new programming into your brain. Okay, so beliefs, how do they come about? When you have a thought, within 17 seconds, the thought is going to get joined by another similar thought. It's like the law of attraction, like attracts like. You're thinking something long enough, another supporting thought is going to join in, then another and another, and before you know it, they combust and they create beliefs and they create identities. Those identities then emanate a certain electromagnetic charge out into the world, and then when you start resonating this stuff, you start attracting to your life a certain set of relationships, circumstances, clients, all that jazz. A lot of people think that we believe things based on what we have observed in the outside world. That is not the truth. That is not the truth. The beliefs actually produce the outside world. Our identities, our beliefs, all the transparent stuff that we don't know we have is what is creating and attracting the outside world. And oftentimes we'll just use the outside world to create supporting evidence for our beliefs. Okay? So I thought I would share with you, I'm reading A Course in Miracles, and I'm doing the lessons, not actually reading the book, but I'm doing the lessons, and it's really cool. I'm on lesson 76. I'm going to read this passage to you. Think of the freedom in the recognition that you're not bound by all the strange and twisted laws you have set up to save you. You really think that you would starve unless you have stacks of green paper strips and piles of metal discs. You really think a small round of some fluid pushed into your veins through a sharpened needle will ward off disease and death. You really think you're alone unless another body is with you. It is insanity that thinks these things. You call them laws, you put them under different names in a long catalog of rituals that have no use and serve no purpose. You think you must obey the laws of medicine, of economics, and of health. Protect the body and you will be saved. It's really fun to think about how many laws or beliefs about stuff and the laws that we created for ourselves, and then it actually becomes the truth, because what the mind believes, the body manifests. I'll give you an example. I am a very healthy person because I believe I'm a very healthy person, but I have 2 health issues that I'm dealing with, and I can totally see how that's a result of the beliefs. Number 1, I have a very stuffy nose. Despite being perfectly healthy, I have a very stuffy nose. It's weird. I have to use a nose spray every time before I go to bed, because if I don't, I just can't sleep. So, and I looked, and I remember my dad telling me when I was an 8-year-old, oh, don't use that stuff because you'll get addicted to it. And I said, oh, I'll become addicted to it. And I did. My mind believes, the body manifests, I have a stuffy nose. Another one is my PMS, premenstrual syndrome. Somebody told me when I was 13, 14, whatever that age, that was a thing, and I empowered a whole hell lot. And I'm starting to believe, I'm starting to see how my beliefs have totally created and blew it out of proportions. Every month I'm PMSing, I just become this emotional wreck, and I tend to break up with whoever I'm dating. It's a mess. It's full of drama, and it's horrible, okay? Now, that's what it's been. Now, I'm working on discreating and replacing and installing new beliefs. So that's an example. So what we're going to do, this is it for this video. In the next video, in part 2, I'm going to actually teach you how to surface some of those beliefs, how to see what they are, because they're so transparent. Here's the thing. Thought is something you can spot. If you're conscious enough, if you meditate enough, you can hear a thought from time to time. Now, there's 60,000 of them a day, so you cannot hear everything, but you can hear a thing from time to time. Beliefs, on the other hand, are much harder to spot because they're somewhat transparent. They're just going to live in a background, and they just kind of are. That's just how things are. And until you have somebody reflect back to you and tell you, hey, Eva, that's not real, what you're thinking, or you look at the painful experiences in your life, then you're never going to know that belief actually exists and is running the show. So make sure to watch out for the part 2, and I'll see you in the next video.